back. Single-hull vessels will be phased out at the end of the year. Today on the program, I will be bringing you a report on the second meeting of the heads of maritime parastatals, which held last week in Nimasa. The meeting had in attendance DG Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, MD NPA, Ms. Hadiza Bala Usman, Executive Secretary, Nigerian Shippers Council, Mr. Hassan Bello, Registrar Council for the Regulation of Freight Forwarders in Nigeria, CRFFN, Mr. Sam Wankoho, and Rector, Maritime Academy of Nigerian Man, Oron, Commodore Duja Ima Efedwa, retired, who joined via Zoom. I'll be bringing you details of that meeting, so I'll say please join me. In fact, the details will extend to our focus segment, where we'll have the ES of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Barrister Hassan Bello, that's the Executive Secretary. Another big news is that some arrested pirates have been convicted after being tried under the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act 2019. So you have the details here too. My advice, again, is that you please sit back, relax, while I take you through this voyage on radio. This is Nimasa in Focus. The maritime sector has never had it this good in terms of cooperation of maritime agencies for the growth of the industry. This was according to the Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamo, when he was briefing the media at the end of the monthly meeting of heads of maritime agencies in the country. Dr. Jamo stated that the renewed commitment to synergy amongst heads of parastatals in the industry had started yielding positive results.
We have MPA, we have Nigerian Shippers Council, we have the Council for the Registrations of Freight Forwarders, we have Nigerian Inland Waterways Authority, and we have the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. I understand that we used to have this type of gathering, but I think I spent almost 27 to 28 years in the industry, and I'm very, very much close to the leaders that lead these industries. I think we'll never find it so interesting like this time, whereby all the chief executives are interested and they are willing to come and contribute their own quota towards the development of the industry for public good.
Speaking about the benefits of the meeting, Dr. Jamo pointed at the issue of the berthing of the Nimasa floating dock, which had lingered but on the brink of resolution thanks to the meeting.
I gave a background so that you can understand and appreciate our own position. We came in May. We made the modular floating dock 2 years old without utilization, without commitment. But between May and today, August, we have commenced the process and we reached an agreement. The last meeting, it was the MD MPA that addressed this meeting and announced what we intend to do, where and the date we will do that. So we are working hand in hand to resolve that issue. Having MPA in the Chief Executives Forum simplify the issue that has been lingering in the last 2 years. So this answer suggests to answer the question number 2, what do we intend to achieve? We already started achieving. It's not that we intend to achieve, we are achieving. The floating dock that spent 2 years without specific policy pronouncement on what to do with it. Today we have reached a conclusion, what to do with it, how to go around it, and when to deploy it into use.
Also speaking after the meeting, the MD, NPA, Nigeria Ports Authority, said that the heads of maritime agencies spoke about the need to have 24-hour port operations in the country.
One of the key things we referenced around improvement of operational efficiency is the need to have 24-hour port operations. We also took that to the next step by also expanding to have 7 days a week, 24-hour port operations. A lot of you will be familiar with the fact that in 2017, an executive order was issued by the Vice President regarding 24-hour port operations. Nigerian Ports Authority and some agencies of government indeed set about and commenced 24-hour port operations. But as you know, port operations cannot be done in isolation. All agencies of government and other stakeholders must come. 1 year down the line, Nigerian Ports Authority made a report to the Presidential Council of Ease of Doing Business that other agencies of government were not participating in 24-hour port, which made it impossible for Nigerian ports to proceed in implementation. You cannot have a 24-hour port operations by having, for example, 2 agencies of government actually working within that. And we also noted the need to have incentives being given to consignees, incentives being provided for people to come and clear their cargoes for 24 hours. And as you're aware, 24 hours means traversing the port locations at night, also moving your cargoes outside the port locations at night. Those security deployments need to be made to enable consignees be comfortable in coming to pick their cargoes within 24 hours.
The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt has convicted 3 persons accused of involvement in the hijack of an Equatorial Guinean flagged vessel named MV Elubei 6 off Equatorial Guinea's coast on March 21. Delivering judgment, Justice Mohammed Sani summarily convicted Benaibi Johnson, Daniel Lemar, and Gani Gordon on counts 1 and 2, and they were ordered to pay a fine of 20 million naira each under the new Anti-Piracy Act 2019. The Nigerian Navy had arrested 9 persons, namely Benaibi Johnson, Daniel Lemar, Gani Gordon, Hassan Hakim, Gregory Smith, Ofem Uket, John Mark, Chidi Amadi, and Eze Amadi, who were suspected to be members of the kidnapping syndicate. They were said to have demanded a $2 million ransom, out of which $200,000 was eventually paid. During the proceedings in the court on August 10, Benaibi Johnson, Daniel Lemar, and Gani Gordon pleaded guilty to counts 1 and 2 and not guilty to counts 3 to 5, while the remaining 6 accused persons pleaded not guilty to the charges against them. Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamo, described the conviction as a signal that Nigeria is in the right path in the war against piracy and other crimes on the nation's waterways. Jamo said NIMASA, as an interested party, will continue to work closely with other agencies of government, the international community, and other stakeholders to achieve improved security in the Gulf of Guinea. The Director General stated, and I quote, "This will serve as a deterrent to other criminal elements who are still engaged in the nefarious activities on our waterways. On our part as an agency, we will not relent on our efforts to ensure a safe and secure maritime domain in line with our mandate." The Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Crimes (SPOMO) Act 2019 has come to stay, and it is victory for Nigeria as a whole, as we are determined more than ever before to take our rightful place in the Committee of Maritime Nations. End of quote. The prosecution counsel, Labaran Magaji, who spoke to newsmen outside the court, said the judgment was a landmark victory for the anti-piracy. It was read to them. They pleaded $1 million naira each, and only 3 of the defendants were actually sentenced, Magaji said. The conviction is the first since the signing into law of the SPOMO Act in June last year by President Muhammad Buhari. Words on Marble.
Well, I would say NIMASA has carried out a very technical position in this industry, and we are doing better and better every day, particularly in maintaining industrial peace. Don't forget that the cardinal position of all players in the industry is industrial harmony. industrial company can come. We have very good regulation. The NIMASA is regulating the industry very well. And the good news is that they are taking suggestions from stakeholders. They are feeling the pulse of the stakeholders before making policies. Your policies are always directed to improve the situation, to improve the industry. And NIMASA is doing their best as they could in the present moment.
That was Otumba Kunle Folarin talking about NIMASA's role in creating industrial harmony.
This is NIMASA in Focus.
What happened to the states when our music be they bless lives? Yeah. What happened to the states where we let they sing to impress girls? Yeah. What happened? Nowadays would they mislead people with corrupt music? Yeah. What happened? What happened? What happened to Papa Fela? What happened to Magic Fashion? If you have rain, you can move mountains. What happened? What happened? Take us back to those days when we they sing to inspire humanity. Let the music take control. I remember when the music in your soul. Like heal the world, make it a better place. What happened to the states when our music be the teacher? Now we be the preacher. Yeah. Nowadays we no even bother to inspire them. Now make money, make you throw it. Pop champagne, wait the guests, call my guys. What happened to Whitney Houston? If tomorrow's judgment day, one love, let's get together and feel alright.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
On our focus segment today, we have the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Barrister Hassan Bello, who spoke at the end of the meeting of
a common trade practice that a shipper nominates the port